3x squared minus x minus 10, and asks you to factor this. Okay, step 1, you're going to multiply the constant times the leading coefficient. So what's 3 times negative 10? Negative 30. What two factors of negative 30 have a sum of this middle term's coefficient? Negative 1. Negative 6 and positive 5. Right? Those are two numbers whose product is negative 30 and whose sum is this middle term. And so if we drop down the first and last term and rewrite the middle term as the sum of these, so negative 6 plus a 5x, you can then factor by grouping here. What common factor can you remove from this first pair of terms? A 3 and a x. And that leaves what in the remaining terms? X minus 2. What common factor can we remove from the second pair? Once again, a 5. And that leaves x minus 2. If you've done it right, this should be a common factor. So if we take out that common factor of x minus 2 from both of these, what terms are going to be left? 3x plus 5. All right. Now, I just wanted to expose you guys to this. Do I expect you to do this year? You don't have to, because there's a much easier way to do this for you guys in this class, and that is F2, algebra tab, number 2, factor. Type your expression exactly as it is. Close off the parentheses. Hit enter, and you see x minus 2 times 4x minus 5. It gives you your factors. Okay? So again, my expectation is you guys will be efficient. I just wanted you to see the process. Okay, now this also works for solving equations. If you had an equation, 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals 0. 1, you could use the zero product rule, which means you could factor this and then set each factor equal to 0. And now, trial and error should work pretty well here because your prime numbers for the leading coefficient and constant. You know your first terms are 2x and x. Your second terms are either plus 3 and 1 or plus 1 and plus 3. Those are the only ones that you have to test. And so if you test the first pair, 2x plus 3x, does that equal 7x? No. What about 6x plus 1x? Does that equal 7x? Yes. So here are your factors. 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. And if you set each of these equal to 0, what value of x would give you a 0 for this factor? You guys remember the way that we did that? Took the opposite of the constant, negative 1, over the reciprocal of the leading coefficient, 2. You also have x equals, in this case, negative 3. Those are the two values that would give you a 0. Once again, I expect you guys to be efficient. The most efficient way may be to use your solve key, so the algebra tab F2, solve, enter your equation exactly as it appears, including the equals, 0, identify what you want to solve for, comma x, and when you hit enter, you get your answer negative 3 and negative 1/2 to confirm what we did by hand. All right. Questions on the 10.6 material? All right, the last thing I want to talk about then before I give you time to either work on homework or the project that you're working on is let's talk about what I expect as far as the 5th grade lesson on long division. Okay, so here's what I'm looking for. Okay, my sister says that there are some kids who don't get it at all, and then there's a handful of kids that get it. And so we're aiming to make it very explanation based. I mean, I want you to try to explain exactly what's going on. And the long division, go ahead and start with some simple long division that does not require remainders. And so if you do something like the following,